right, now, Abdullah, I still want you thinking about what can, because we have to give them something tangible of what can you do, right? So I want you thinking about that. But I want to have one more question for you, Ru, before I go to Abdullah. Is it that it's not in our history? When I didn't mean to say history. Is it that it's not in our memory? Or why do we now see all these tribes coming together on this issue? Or is this type of unity, as he mentioned before, been happening all the time and it just wasn't in the media? Or why are we seeing it now with this pipeline?
You know, I don't want to say that this isn't a historical moment, because it is. This is the largest gathering of indigenous people ever. Like this is going to send shockwaves through our communities, because you know we have lots of different communities. Obviously, it's brought together indigenous people, not just from the U.S. and Canada, but from Mexico, Latin America. Wow. People are saying that's fulfilling prophecies that have existed for hundreds of years. Wow. It's bringing in indigenous people from Australia and Europe, everywhere. So it's going to be an amazing moment for hundreds of years. But we as indigenous people have been coming together as groups for a long time. 1876, when General Custer was defeated, that was actually a spiritual gathering of the Ocheti Shakoi and the Cheyenne and the Arapaho. That was a huge gathering of them. In the 1960s was the burgeoning of the American Indian movement, the indigenous protest movements, and these were huge gatherings of people, like on Alcatraz, where they occupied Alcatraz in 1969 for 19 months.
What?
Saying that they were taking back that land for Native Americans. So we have been gathering in these ways for a long time. I think that one of the reasons why we've been so successful is because we now know how to use social media, and we're able to circumvent all these news organizations that don't want to talk about us.
And about prophecy, let people know, don't front on prophecy from Native American tribes, because even as Muslims, we believe that every nation was sent a prophet. And so, you know, this prophecy could be coming true, and this is something that we need to learn more about, I think. So Abdullah Bait, you the guy that went down there. Maybe before you talk about what we should do, you can spend a minute or two about why you went down there, and what were you a part of. But definitely after you say that, tell our listeners, Deen TV, what can they do, or what do you think they can do after you went down there and saw it, that is something that can help this cause?
Absolutely. So the first thing, Joshua, is that the reason why I sort of wanted to initiate this project called #ProjectWarmHearts is because I was seeing the sentiment from the Muslim community saying that, you know, like I mentioned before, that we should support this because Muslims happen to be at Standing Rock. And I really wanted to give off a different perspective from that, and the reason why is because we as Muslims should stand up for justice no matter what. So I teamed up with this company called Veiled Butte. You can see them at www.veiledbutte.com. They're actually a hijab company, an apparel company, and I teamed up with them as well as Deen TV and the ICNA Council for Social Justice, the Islamic Circle of North America Council for Social Justice. That's ICNACSJ.org. So we teamed up together and we decided to initiate this project called #ProjectWarmHearts, where for every scarf you buy from Veiled Butte, one will be donated to someone at Standing Rock, and also we'll be filming a documentary, and we'll be giving testimonies about the entire about the people there. So the documentary is coming out soon, inshallah.
Any date?
Yeah, inshallah, January 16th.
January 16th
is the date.
Look for it. Okay.
So, but a teaser trailer is going to be coming out this Monday, inshallah, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so we really wanted to give off these testimonies, these stories from Standing Rock, and really tell the stories of the people there so that the Muslims on the outside or anyone else can really connect with that. Alhamdulillah, the project has already been initiated. If you go on Instagram, you can see on my Instagram at @the_young_Muslim, the young Muslim, that we have.
There can only be one.
Yeah.
The young Muslim.
I'm trying to change the handle. Yeah. But you can see some of the testimonies. We're doing like Humans of New York style postings, where we take a picture and a quote, and it's really great. You can also see it on Veiled Butte. It's veiled.butte, and you can see it on their Instagram as well. All
right, save some time for our instructions.
Right.
We only got a few minutes left.
Right. So that's pretty much it. So the project is in full initiation mode, and everything is coming out. And I guess people just need to. We're just trying to help people stay aware of it, connect with the people there. That's really pretty much the best way to do it. What I recommend the Muslim community do as of now is not forget about the issue. It's sort of like we have this keyboard activism, but also another sense of like fast food activism, where you drive up to the window, like, hey, I'll have my order of activism, and then you drive off, you gobble it up, you tweet about it, whatever it is, and then it's done, and you never think about it again. And I guess part of the issue of the easement and not granting the easement when it came out is that the Muslims sort of had this perception that it's over. Everyone was like, "What, isn't it over? Why are you still going, bro?" And I was like, well, that's the thing. I want people to know that it's not over. There are people still there. There are people who are starving, people who are freezing in the cold, and they need help. And a lot of relief organizations have pulled back their grants because, like, they weren't granted the easement, so we don't need to be there anymore. We need to give our money anymore. And I really want to change that perception that this is still going on. And January 20th is going to be a really crucial moment for all of this. So what the Muslims need to do right now, and just this is the last thing, is there's something called an environmental impact survey. And basically the Army Corps of Engineers has said that they were going to file a notice of intent to do an environmental impact survey. And this would have basically created a set of bureaucracy for basically the Donald Trump administration to not to have to go through in order to grant that easement to Dakota Access Pipeline. But they haven't done that yet. They haven't followed up on that. So I guess what the Muslims could do right now is probably call up the Army Corps of Engineers, tell them to do that notice of intent to do the environmental impact survey.
Say that again slow. You want them to call the Army
Corps
Corps
of Army Corps of Engineers. You can find it online. It's pretty simple to find. I wanted to get a phone number.
You got to break things down for me.
Yeah. So call the Army Corps of Engineers and tell them, please file a notice of intent for an environmental impact survey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And once they do that, they'll basically explain that this could impact the environment in this way and that way and that way, and that's why we're going to halt this or whatever it is, or we're going to reroute, whatever it is.
Very tangible stuff. Call the Army Corps of Engineers and tell them to file
a notice of intent for an EIS, an environmental impact survey. But on top of that, just generally, Muslims need to understand that we do not only support issues for when it concerns other Muslims, we support issues concerning all people of all walks of life. It's not Muslims for Muslims, it's Muslims for humanity. That's what we're about. Right.
And I forget that people are watching and they can just click back to hear that again and hear that again. So I don't have to keep saying it to you.
Can I say one other suggestion?
We have a couple more minutes.
Okay, great.
Go ahead.
So he's exactly right. We're in this crucial period where we need to get this notice put in by January 20th because that creates some bureaucratic barriers to the next administration changing their decision wantonly, right? The other thing that is really crucial right now is as of January 1st, investors in the Dakota Access Pipeline have the opportunity to renegotiate their contracts. And if they choose to, at 2017 oil prices, it would make the pipeline insolvent. It wouldn't make economic sense anymore for them to build it. So there's
too much.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a huge defunding movement going on where we're encouraging people to go and remove all of their credit lines and money with banks that are investing in this pipeline. So if you go to defundDAPL.org,
you just press back if you didn't.
defundDAPL.org, and it will give you all the instructions about how to divest from these banks, like Wells Fargo, for example. And as of this moment, I think it's almost $45 million that individuals have divested from these banks.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
the only thing that the company will listen to is money, and so we have to talk with our dollars.
So, wow. I mean, now why I think this is important is because you have to practice activism. Activism is a muscle. You just can't jump into some extreme situation and solve it. It's little wins that you get along the road of, let's work on this. Let's call them up and ask for this. Let's do that. So that when the big thing happens, like you're seeing overseas or even here in America, now you're organized, you're ready, you have a tent for this, you have your legal tent, you have a few tent, because you've done it before like 15, 16, 17 times. We have to get involved. We have to be part of movements that you believe in. So if this isn't the movement that you believe in, find one that you believe in. But if you did a little research, you would probably find that this is a movement that you should believe in. And I want people to know that they're connected. We're all connected as human beings, and you have to learn how to listen. Listen to another person, whether it's your Native American brother or sister, or your Muslim brother or sister, or your black brother and sister, or your white brother and sister. You have to listen to people and really try to live life or listen to the life in their feet if you want to do something. Now, I also want to let people know that I know that there's a lot of pain and suffering going on, and sometimes people feel overwhelmed well, we got this issue in Syria, we got this issue in Iraq, and we got this issue in Palestine, we got Muslims here being punched and stabbed and set on fire.
What do we donate to? What do we support?
Yeah, and it's too much. But just remember that Allah is with those who are patient and persevere. And even if you think you can't do a lot, do a little. Put a penny in a bucket. It will help. And we have to learn how to be good activists so that we can be like Rue and doing this project, getting some grants, and be like Abdullah Beg, who put some programs and institutions together so that he could go down there and document this. This is what it's about. This is what Deen talks about. I really want to thank all of you guys for tuning in and watching and listening. In fact, that little mouse, scroll all the way back to the beginning and click replay. Just watch the whole show again, inshallah. All right, we'll see you next time. Thank you again for tuning in to Deen Talk. I'm Joshua Saddam. See you next time.